Hello there, this is Coach Sammy33. Season 34 has started. By the time you see this video, we should already be kicking off the next season in the NDL. If you saw the last NDL video that I posted, FSU and I mutually agreed to part ways. Things may not have worked out the way that I have liked, but we do enter the draft, and that means that we're going to have a new team. It's not Nebraska. That is my favorite team, but it isn't them. We picked in the middle of the draft, and we have a new journey ahead of us. So, without further ado, let's talk about the new team. Back to the G5 I go. Conference USA is the conference of choice, and Western Kentucky, the first team picked in Conference USA, completely emptied out after season 33. So we get actually the team that was number one on our board. It was a debate. Kentucky sat there. I didn't think they would drop, but they weren't a team that I really looked deep into. And I don't know, when you get to the draft and you have your heart set on these are the teams I'm looking at, when a team drops you unexpectedly, I feel like it always goes bad when you try to venture off of your board. So Western Kentucky was the number one team on the board. Western Michigan was number two, and it was a flip flop back and forth over the 24 hours before the draft. Like, I think I'll go with this team, think I'll go with the Broncos, think I'll go with the Hilltoppers, and ultimately, about 20 minutes before the pick, I keyed in on Western Kentucky. We can talk about why in a minute, but I'm happy to start a new journey with a new team, one of the weirdest looking, but also cool mascots in college football. So let's take a look at what this roster looks like. We can be honest here. When you're looking at a roster in a G5, the offense is probably going to take precedence. The first thing that comes to mind is who can I build this offense around in terms of playmakers? Who's the primary guy to get the ball to? Is the offensive line going to be okay? Is the quarterback going to be good enough? Defensively, you're just hoping for stops here and there, but it's the offense that takes priority. And there are some good pieces on this offense. We'll take a look here in just a sec, but just want to look at the overall ratings first. You see, there's a group of players that have at least an 80 rating, 7 of them to be exact, 5 on offense. No surprise there. Then that next special team. That's kind of important. But we'll look into position by position, break it down, and kind of look at what led me to this team. So the first thing is the quarterback, Mathis. Full first name, he's a senior, so that helps in terms of the mental. But the key thing that really won out with this team over Western Michigan was the quarterback. You're looking at short accuracy of 90, mid of 85, deep accuracy is 79. Don't see it here on the bottom right. The throw power is 89. If we go to Western Michigan, this is the difference. Throw power is 87. So Brock has not have as strong of an arm. He is not as accurate. 80 for short, 77 for mid, 79 on the deep ball. That is important because as someone that likes to keep the clock moving, and obviously, the defenses in the G5 are going to be such compared to what I just came from in the ACC. You can't afford too many errant throws. They're going to happen anyway, but anything you can do to limit that is super helpful. He can move some. He's got 77 speed. I don't really run with the quarterback that often, so I'm not too worried about that, but he can escape some pressure. The key thing, though, is that accuracy under 15 yards or maybe under 20 yards. Or remember if mid is 15 or 10 to 20, 10 to 15, whatever. But whatever it is, anything that is not a deep ball, we can rely on him reasonably to be accurate. And that is really important for my style of offense. The running back. Now, this is going to be something that I haven't had to really deal with since probably I've been back in the NDL. I had Western Michigan. I had New Mexico, Sanders, Buckley, I believe, with Western Michigan at the time, Tulane, speedster at running back there, huge. And then speed with Florida State. And you're looking at what I have now. A little bit different, huh? No one breaks the great 9-0, but you have Lavelle Wright. See, none of my running backs have any abilities. 88 speed, 90 acceleration. That's important. At least if you're not going to be top end fast, at least be able to get to your top speed faster. You see Hampton, senior, 85, 90, senior running back, all seniors, as a matter of fact, for the core. I do like that. And some good size. The bruiser, 6 feet, 222, 215. We've got some big boys back there, so if we can power through, that's one thing that will be helpful. We don't have great top end speed, but because most G5 defenses aren't fast and don't have a lot of talented players, just like a player here or there as you go through units on each team, it's very helpful for us because these running backs will probably look better than they really are. Break tackle 79, 75 for Hart. We all have been talking about the stiff arm in the live chat the last couple of days. Something tells me that it's probably going to be helpful here. You see trucking in the lower 80s, stiff arm, lower 80s. So we have 2 bruising backs. I'll definitely do my best to try to split time between them. One concern, Wright definitely will be carrying the ball more anyway. He's a little bit faster, stronger, and I can rely on him to carry the ball. The issue is I don't really have a running back that can catch. So the question I will have for myself as we go through this season is, do we prioritize maybe check downs being receivers as opposed to a running back? I'm not used to doing that. I usually have a guy or two where I can say, hey, I can plug you out there, and if nothing's open, I can check it down to you and rely on you to catch the ball. This is going to be different. I haven't really had a running back that can't catch. The only one that does is Landers. But how often would he go out on the field? Don't really know. Maybe we'll find out. Fullback, nothing. So that's going to be a tight end / running back. I mean, we have running back. I don't have anyone super fast. Look at a guy like McGill, 86 speed. Like, I'm not trying to cheese or anything with a running back at fullback, but I mean, some of these guys aren't small, and it's just the blocking that I'm looking at. Are they great blockers? Probably not. But to be fair, the backup tight ends on a G5 team probably aren't going to be good either. The other thing is I don't really run a lot. You can see run blocking, it's not going to be really high. But I don't run a lot of 2-back sets, so shouldn't be an issue. I like to run 12 personnel more than anything else. Receivers. This is where things get fun. So our first impact player, Matthew Henry, 6 feet, 183. Slim dude, 89 speed, 92 excel. You like that. See the route running, not bad. Catch, 87. Matt, our first true speedster, 90. For the top end speed, Cell is 92 as well. Catch, a little bit less, but still decent size, 5'11", 182. Hutchinson, this is more of your gadget type guys, 5'8", 180. I think of a Tez Johnson when I think of a guy like this. 92 speed, 94 excel, so the fastest of the bunch so far. Catches 81. That's also something to worry about. Florida State, every now and then certain guys weren't catching the ball. You just kind of roll your eyes, but now it's legitimately going to be an issue with some of these receivers. They're not elite, so try to get them open in space so they can catch the ball securely, or trying to make something happen. And then we have a group of guys that are kind of You got Myers, 85 speed, he's 6'4", so big physical dude. Williams, 6'3", 86 speed, so more of your Keyshawn Johnson type, big body, big catch radius. But then you have the outlier, Quincy Burrows. Now, how can I factor him in the offense? You already know he's going to be the return guy. I'm big on special teams being a thing, and this is another point for Western Kentucky when debating Western Kentucky or Western Michigan. You have an electric receiver who's 6'1", 96 feet, 91 excel. So he can go in the return game. He also decent catch at 78, but his speed As long as he's on the field, the defense will have to account for him. Now, a lot of times you're going to have your speedsters in the slot so they can get in and out of their routes really quick, but he can go on the outside because of his size at 6'1". But just tracking what the defense is doing, if they're not paying attention to him, he can really make things nasty for a defense. You can see again as we're going through, no ability. But he is definitely someone to keep an eye on. Something tells me if we're going to have a good season, it's because we found ways for him to be productive. That is the goal. See what we can do. At tight end, no question on who's the number one. It's going to be Noah Myers. Good catch at 82. I'll take that. Also, the blocking, that he will be asked to do that because I do like like I said, I like having two tight ends, so I'm going to need them to do their job. Got to go a little bit farther down there. All the way down. Run block 61. So not great. I don't have that elite blocking tight end. As a matter of fact, neither of the backups are necessarily great either, but they will be out there. We'll see what we can do. See, finesse, Wolf is better. For power, West is better. How that impacts how we run 12 personnel, I'm not sure. One thing of note, if you're looking at catching, West is better, even though he's slightly slower. Excel is faster, speed's a little less. So maybe that was the deciding factor. We'll have to see. But when we talk about the blocking in general, the left side, definitely the strong side. Jackson at left tackle, a senior. Abilities, pocket shield and PA shield. But look at that pass block. That's what I like to see. If he's going to be your anchor, that archetype is pass protector. He's an 82 overall. If you go to left guard, you have Emo, a senior, 83, our best offensive lineman on the team. Good pass block, solid in run block, no abilities. Center, massive drop off. Caleb Nita, 71 overall, but solid enough with the pass blocking. So at least I know if I'm going to have to worry about anything pass blocking wise, it's going to be on the right side of the line, which funny enough, be the same thing for the run too. So Jenkins, easily the leader at right guard, 73 overall. Actually solid in pass block, run block, not so much. And then right tackle, the real concern here. You have three guys at 72. So who do you go with? All of them are upperclassmen. Raymer is stronger, so that would be probably something that would factor in. But then also you have to look at the blocking, and you can see just at the base, pass blocks are all the same, but there's difference between power and footwork. And then run block. Smith is better. And the funny thing is, even though Raymer is stronger, when it comes to power, he's not as good as the others. So decision will have to be made there. We'll figure that out. But I don't think I'll kind of harp on this too long. It's probably going to be between Raymer and Smith.